chill and vibe. Baby girl, keep it real, no lies. She said she 21, I said alright. If we gon' be grown, then speak your mind. I just wanna chill and vibe. 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 Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Turn up, don't turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. It's on the show.
Whoa!
Only we can die.
Whoa! Whoa! He got that thing
Got
out.
the shoulder, shoulder,
Whoa!
Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. Hey, what's good, sippers? This is your boy Buddha, and over there is the lovely, the beautiful
Baby!
And welcome to Sipping and Conversation with Buddha and Baby. Woo! Wait a minute. We got somebody here. We got a special guest.
Special guest.
And, you know, he goes by the name Javone, the Love Doctor.
Dr.
Jones.
Love Jones. You so crazy. You talking about the Love Doctor.
Hey, Dr. Love Jones. I like to put my spin on it because I got dang on Buddha. What's good, baby?
What's up? What's going on? How's everybody doing?
That's right.
Hey! Looking good, all sharp and fly.
Oh, just a little hat, just
Just a little hat, little something to the something.
little light, little right. Nothing.
So,
Hold on. Before you get all geeked up, Jesus. I have to bring him down a notch. Alright. So tonight, because we haven't really been showing our Instagram platform any love, and we apologize. It's just, you know, we just it is what it is, okay? So tonight we got a two-way video recording going on. Hello, Instagram. Unfortunately, if you are leaving comments, I won't be able to respond to you with what you may say, just FYI. But we definitely wanted to show you some love by showing you that first and foremost, we are still going, all right? And, you know, just so you know that this is what we do on a weekly basis on Wednesdays.
damn.
Our live show is hosted on Facebook, so you're more than welcome to come over and join us there, or feel free to stay where you at. But whatever you do, make sure you got your drinks, okay? You got to have your drinks, because the name of the show is what?
Sipping
And
Conversations,
okay.
Little sipping.
Little sip, let's sip.
So,
All right,
baby,
that would be me.
how was your day?
I never knew working from home would be so tough. It's like, wow, you know, but I give humble thanks and praises to the Most High for employment, you know.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm going to just keep it pushing.
Keep on pushing. Okay.
How was your day?
You know, hey man, they got the butter from the duck like they always do.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, Javone,
What's
Dr. Love,
Yes.
how was your day?
I think it's been fantastic. You know, I'm just enjoying life. You know, my book has been out for a week, so I'm good. I'm really good. Life is really good right now.
And he said he has a book. So a little later on in the show, we're going to get into doing a little soft interview with the one and only Dr. Love. And, you know, he'll give you a little bit more information about said book. All right? What happened last week?
Oh, what happened last week?
Yes.
Well, you know, hey man, listen, we broke camp.
Mm-hmm.
We broke camp, and we went to a Monopoly tournament. Don't tell nobody. We can't disclose the area we was at because we don't want to get caught again. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, we talked about wrestling. Black-owned business.
Black-owned businesses.
pros and cons.
Yes.
So instead of me sliding in and giving my opinion, because y'all heard that last week,
Right.
we have a guest.
Yes.
So let me get a little idea where you want to go.
Look,
with
you
last
know
week.
what to do. Get that drink right. All right. So last week we talked about the pros and cons of supporting, patronizing Black-owned businesses. What would be your input on that?
All right. So the thing about supporting Black-owned businesses, I come from a consumer aspect because I am an active supporter of Black-owned businesses. If I see somebody that look like me doing something that is giving a service that I want, I will go out my way to support them. And for the most part, I get great service. But so I come from the person who is a Black-owned business, and I come from the consumer aspect. The pros and cons is this: when you're when you're a business, forget about anything. You just gotta temper your expectations. Don't think because a person look like you, they supposed to support you. And when they support you, you're supposed to treat them like they're your best customer. And I've had experience where because of skin color, people show out for certain people than others. So whenever you're in a business and you're the business owner, you're supposed to come in with this idea that you're trying to earn more business. Because you're going to get that business at that moment. But you're showing out so you can get more business. Because that person, knows people. And they know more people. And you want to treat that person like they're the most important person in the world. But now, and from a consumer aspect, we have every right to give our dollar to whoever we choose to. And if I feel like, color or not, you're not the person I want to give my dollar to, I have every right for whatever reason. You don't need to know why, you don't need to ask why, you don't need to inquire. And another tip I would say is, the one thing that turns me off personally from a business is when you use the angle of Black-owned. So that's just my quick thoughts. I just want everybody to be in a space of treating everybody as regular people in business, and don't try, and not even regular, treat them as somebody special because they're taking time out their day to patronize your service.
Okay, cool. Okay, so for those tuning in, please, if you are not familiar, you may want to turn your phone on auto rotate because the show will be in a landscape view. So if you don't have your phone on auto rotate when you're looking at us, you're probably not going to get us all in the screen. Okay, that's just an FYI. All right. So, hello, Cali Boy Jones. What's good, Angie, Katrina, Simone.
What?
Who else we got?
I'm trying to figure out how she see all these damn people.
What? Right there.
Where?
Oh, Lance, Desiree, thank you all for tuning in, and everyone that's tuning in on Instagram. Hello. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see who you are. Like I said, I'm going to try to figure something out here momentarily so that I can at least see what you guys are saying. So you're going to just give me un momento, por favor. Okay, very good. So, let's see. While I'm trying to get these schematics and whatnot taken care of. So that was his input. Anything else you want to say?
I'm good, man. He pretty much covered everything we already talked about.
All in a nutshell.
All in a nutshell. Dr. Love has doing his thing.
Hey. and it's just funny, just to add on that real quick. It's like I don't mind supporting Black-owned businesses. I look for them. However, I'm looking for who has the best bang for my buck with quality, of course. Because some things, products and services, you looking for the quality.
Mm-hmm.
So I anticipate paying more.
Right.
However, I don't expect to pay more for equivalent products or service. You understand what I'm saying? From any, like, I mean, if it was the Irishman and they had what I was looking for, same quality, same everything, and it was $5 cheaper, I'm going to where my buck is getting the best bang. Point blank.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
But I won't settle for poor customer service from nobody.
I agree.
I'm a huge customer service person, and I believe in, if this is especially for the entrepreneurs out there. So all entrepreneurs listening to this, okay, share this with your friends too, okay? Mm-hmm. If you are an entrepreneur, it's hard work, right? Okay. We know that. Number one, it's hard work. You got to put in twice as much effort and energy when you are doing it, right? So if you are going to be doing whatever it is you got out there going process, you need to make sure that your top priority outside of earning money, earning a profit, is quality customer service. And no, the customer is not always right. But what can you do in order to keep your recommendations and reviews being negative? If it's 10%, or hey, when you come back, appetizers on me, there's something that can be done in that moment to make that person happy. That everybody don't always want a free meal. So I just want to end it by saying, make sure at the very least you have a contingency plan in place to ensure that your customer service and all that is employed by you, under you, for you, on behalf of you, is extending the same energy to your clients / customers. That's all I got to say.
All right, I want to say, hey, Desiree Williams and hey, Vaughn. But in somebody specific, right? I got to get it right.
Jesus.
There you go, specific. All right, so last week we had a guy on by the name of Robert Hamilton. He said he had a black-owned grocery, like bodega type thing going on in Sanford. I hadn't forgot you. I'm going to get to you. And number two is, how do we change the narrative of that, right? So I came up with a plan. So if you go to a black-owned business, right? Hear me out. If you go to a black-owned business and the customer service was great and everything, your experience was good, I would like y'all to do either go live or do a video posting that particular place saying, I just love this black-owned business. This is what I experienced there, and y'all should try it out. If we create this movement, this is how we take one step in the right direction for us as a culture getting better.
Right. Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. And I want to go backwards quickly, because I do see this little negative aspect of people that support black-owned businesses. There are some consumers that expect more than they're supposed to from black-owned businesses, and when they don't get what they expect, they go out and trash them.
Right.
And I want to speak quickly to let those people know that is not necessary.
Right.
And I agree that we need to do more promoting our own, especially if you're getting great service and they're going out the way. I remember I was eating at a restaurant, right, and they just asked me, how was the service? I said, it was great. I enjoyed it. The food was great. Yeah, the food was on time. She went and got her manager, came to and was like, and explained to them. And they said, anytime they ask for a manager, it's always something negative. It's great to know that somebody appreciated what we do. And we have to recognize that, for one, if your waitresses and waiters are not getting the pay they should get,
Right.
They're not getting the greatest. So sometimes I don't agree with bad customer service, but we know that they're not getting treated right by the service they give you. So as long as you get your food in a timely manner, don't be too crazy. Still tip them, give them the biggest support. But if they go out your way and do it, be willing to give it up and let it be known that they've done a great job, because you don't know what type of energy that you're impacting. Because when people feel appreciated, it makes them go harder.
Okay. So, and last thing before we get into the interview part, if you are inspiring business owner, understand, know your market, right? Baby talked about this last week. Know your market and understand that if you want people to come to you, understand the market, get something of value. Because like we all know about us cutting yards, pressure washing, hair, all the African American things. But guess what? We go to regular places and we want regular things too.
Right.
So understand where you at, know your market, and cater to the market.
Right.
Other than the other stuff.
And look, I love my lawn people, okay? My lawn service providers. I love them, okay? They pull up. I love everything about them. I love getting my car washed. Like, I love that all these things are available, no doubt. But what I would love to see even more of is where I can actually spend more of my dollars within the community with essential goods, products I should say, that I use on a regular basis, i.e. groceries, toilet, my household goods as far as toilet paper and things like that, somewhere I can go. And it can be equivalent to a Family Dollar or a Dollar General. I will patronize your business.
Yeah.
Seriously. So that's what I was meaning last week with regards to if there were more other than, because I don't get the hair, but then if I have to go buy hair products, I have to still go outside of, it's not a black owned business where I can go and buy hair care products for my hair. But we like number one in the industry of
purchases. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sick and tired.
So, it's like, come on now. And everybody don't want to wear weave. But anywho, neither here nor there.
All right, let's get to it.
So before we get into the show, y'all ready? Y'all ready to do this?
Ready.
Yeah,
all right.
But quickly, let me shout out my boy Jay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he gave me some love in the comments. So salute to you. He's out in Jacksonville.
Whoop,
So
whoop.
salute. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for the love. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the love, man. Thanks for showing up on the show. If it's your first time, click the button. It's your first time. Let us know what you're sipping on. Ladies and gentlemen, baby, what you sipping on?
Baby is sipping on, I think the whole table I'm sipping on, I finally, first of all, shout out, I didn't even want to say her name. Shout out to my friend.
Okay.
For looking out for finding the Crown Royal Peach.
Okay.
I had searched high and low and couldn't find it. But she was able to pull up and make that thing happen. So I'm super excited that I'm able to have that with what I normally chase my drinks with is ginger ale.
I'm coming in swinging. I hit you with the Crown Peach too, Bill. Thank you, whoever. But then I took a little page out of my boy Norris. He said, I'm gonna put this here with some it was a wine cooler, but I said, no, I'm gonna up the ante. I'm gonna hit it with a hard mic. I'm gonna hit it with a hard mic strawberry. Hard mic strawberry Crown. And double the liquor, all the pleasure.
I'm letting you know right now. I'm taking a notebook and putting notes in there with the hard liquor.
And the thing is, ironically, that hard mic. First of all, I've been drinking hard mic lemonade since I was illegal to drink. But that ain't nobody's business. Okay, I'm grown now. I've been grown for a long time.
As a Caribbean,
you just drink.
Drink.
Yeah.
We drink this drink. Okay.
I think I drank my first taste of liquor, like first heavy drink, because I had a picture getting beer at the age of 3. So I'm not gonna say my first time drinking is 3.
Okay.
But when I drank, I was about 13, 14. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
that sounds about right.
Shut him down. Shut him down.
Yeah. But the hard Mike lemonade, hard Mike's, not lemonade, hard Mike's strawberry.
Right.
Is mixed with the Crown Royal peach. It actually tastes really good.
And be careful.
Yeah, because you will drink it like it's a Fanta soda of some sort.
Be careful, because I'm saying if you're not a strong drinker, I advise you to be in the comfort of your own home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can just lay down whatever you need to.
Right.
What you sipping on, man?
I'm over here. I got Uncle Jack over here.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking
I got
about.
some Uncle Jack here with some ginger ale. It's a pretty nice mix because it's honey, so it's a little sweet, but the ginger ale kind of levels it out. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my go-to.
All right.
All right, very good. Okay, so everybody that's tuning in, thank you once again. We appreciate you coming on.
Right.
We're about to. What I'm about to do now is so that we can get it all in, and you can, then we'll get into the topic of tonight, because we want to spend a lot of time on that, as you will want to. So I'm gonna go over some interview questions with Javone so that you can get to know him and what he got going on, and kind of understand the purpose and why he's here. He's here for 2 reasons. One, to talk about his new book that just dropped, and he's here to support us, and that's that, right? All right, so I'm gonna jump right into it. You ready?
I came here ready.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
I was ready when I pulled up.
That's what I'm talking about, right there, right
You got the watermelon rock. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's Shandy.
That's what's up.
Yeah. All right. So, what inspired you to write, and when did you first realize you wanted to be a writer?
Okay. Starters, I don't like writing.
Oh,
I did not like it. It's high school, you told me to do a term paper. I wish we had laptops in classrooms, let's just say.
But know how old you are.
Yeah, we had to write everything out. Even in college, we had to write everything out. So, writing was not my thing, and that was the biggest hesitation. But what I recognize is that I've been through a lot of experiences. I've learned from different sources. Like, I've been around different types of people. And I recognize I collect information very quickly and easily. So I felt that putting out a book was a definitely reason to definitely show what I know. And from there, it will open some doors to create more opportunities in what I want to do in life.
Absolutely. Okay. So, if you could tell your younger writing self anything, what would it be? If you could tell your younger
You're doing great.
writer self.
You're doing great. Allow yourself to grow.
Nice. Allow yourself to grow. Okay. What does literary
I guess it's starting to sink in. Finally, it ain't me. My man.
I did a Buddha. All right. What does literary success look like to you?
Literary success for me is, it's a chapter in my book. It's actually the last chapter. The impact this book has when we're no longer in existence. That's my end goal, because one of the books that inspired me was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and we're in 2020, and this book was written in 1935, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So this book changed the landscape of thinking and enlightenment on a level that it's not. So if I that will be my end goal, is to know that even when I'm no longer here, I'm impacting the world.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey man, listen. When he said that, I went back like 30 years. Like I'm looking at myself 30 years later, like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was in a time machine, like going to the future. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So, do you view writing as a kind of spiritual practice?
It is. I definitely view it that way, because when you, that's why they talk about writing goals. When you write your goal, you're communicating with the universe what you're commanding, what you want, and what your desire is. So writing is a way to communicate. And I have personal evidence on why I believe that's the case.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask a couple more questions. And so, Sippers, if you got a question other than what I'm going to, I know the question you want to know, like how to find him. Don't worry, that's going to be on the list of questions, all right? So, hold tight. All right. What is your favorite childhood book?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Do you have one? I mean, at least.
I do have one.
Okay.
When I was in high school. Because as a kid, I was not a kid. Once I got to teenager, that's when my reading kicked up. Reading one of the biographies of Malcolm X.
Okay.
That was a mind-blowing thing for me. It kind of shaped my understanding of life. Because the thing about Malcolm X's book is, it was like, we didn't learn Malcolm X in school like we learned about Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
So to read a book about Malcolm X, we kind of see why we didn't learn about him in school,
Right.
and but why it was necessary for us to know him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one of my favorite books.
Wow, biography of Malcolm X.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's deep. How does your family support you with your books?
I have a set of family out in Canada right now, and because with this pandemic, where I had to directly ship them books, but they've been hitting me up and saying, "Hey, when you get books, send it to me," and they've been talking about me sharing it. And that's in a whole nother country right there. So
Oh, that's deep, boy. That's some love right there.
So,
That's that love I'm looking for.
So right there is that. But my family's been very supportive. It was amazing because when I got, even my grandmother, who's 96 right now, turning 97.
What? Hold on. 97?
Hey! On Friday.
That's a goddamn almost a century worth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
She has older brothers, actually 100, but that's another conversation.
Oh, man.
But so she actually picked up and she read some of my book, and it was chilling to see my mother and my grandma, because I had brought it and it's like, hey, let me see the book. They was reading it. They read some of my dedications and my acknowledgments and stuff. So it was definitely a great feeling, because I know that they supported me and they're grateful for this path I'm on.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, so I'm going to read one of the viewers' questions. How did you figure out what to write about?
Oh, yeah? Okay. I'm not. Go ahead.
All right. It was in my soul for the longest. It was I knew that I wanted to do something in the self-development field, because I had a long development, and I'm going to say this. I was considered special ed from grade 1 through 12.
Wow.
So from the time I got out of kindergarten, they put me in special education. I went to a whole school, Darron High School in Montclair, New Jersey. But that was a high school. In a regular school, we bounced around from Garwood, Kenilworth. If you're from New Jersey, you know what I'm talking about. So that was the thing that that drove me as I became an adult, because I always never felt that I was special ed. I always felt that I was special but not ed. Mm-hmm. And I knew that there was more to me and more than what they were categorizing me. So as I got older and I gained knowledge and I went through some things in my life that I do talk about in the book, it got me to the point where I recognize if I can do this, how many people are like me who've been told that there was this and they turn out to be great, or there are people who don't know how to become great because they've been held down by the system that made them believe that they were lesser when they know that they're more. So that was the reason why this was the reason why I needed to write the book. And that's why the title is called Level Up.
Aha!
Yes.
Absolutely.
Level up.
So I'm gonna end on my questions with, first of all, you just said the name of the book, Level Up. So how can the people find this magnificent book? Would you like to read something from the book?
Can I read something?
Sure.
I'm going to read the first chapter. Because the first chapter will let you know the type of tone I'm talking about. The first few paragraphs I'm going to do.
All right.
So,
You gotta be loud now.
so all right. So, this book is called Process. This book, each chapter, I call it Process. So, it's not chapter 1, it's process 1.
Okay.
The reason why I call it process because it's a process to learn the information and implement in your life. Plus, you got to process the information to get to that point. So it's a double entendre behind it, and it's a reason why I chose that instead of this chapter. So process 1 is called "Man in the Mirror," which is one of Michael Jackson's songs, and it's also meaning looking yourself in the mirror and recognizing who you are, not just from the physical but from the internal. So I'm gonna start it off. Process 1, Man in the Mirror. The first part of growth is to take an honest look at the person in the mirror. Now, what I mean by honest is to be objective with no emotions. One thing that is difficult to do is to judge yourself without emotion, because for you to do that, you must be able to disconnect your feelings from your life. Most people think that being honest is telling someone how they feel about someone or something. Example, I don't like that person. Or I think they are morons. That's not being honest. Being honest is speak on someone or something without putting them in a bad or good light. For example, me and that person don't vibe well. Or I don't think they understand what I was trying to get across to them. Being honest starts with yourself. Being honest with yourself starts with looking at everything you've done, from your triumphs to your letdowns and everything in between. Realizing life that you're not as good as your achievements and not as bad as your failures. You're always in between. Don't get me wrong. We have an aptitude to be great, and greatness starts with knowing exactly how good you are in certain areas. It's nothing wrong with humility. Allow others to tell you how great you are. This also is a great time to assess your character. I know that you believe you are a great person with high qualities, but you also have character flaws that have affected some relationships you've had with certain people. In process 4, we're going to talk about how to distance yourself from toxic people. But in this process, we're going to address the toxic energy in you.
Okay. Man.
Yes.
That's right on time.
Now,
They need to hear that right now.
if you want to get your book called Level Up.
Level Up, How to Start Live Your Best Life Now. And quickly with the title, I want to tell you what made me come up with this.
Mm-hmm.
I went through depression in 2017 going into 18. So when I got out of that, my response was, it's time to level up. Mm-hmm. So I was hashtagging Level Up 2018. Mm-hmm. Then when 2019 came, hashtag 2019. And we're in 2020, so it's Level Up 2020. Mm-hmm. So it's part of my growth in this. And then how to start live your best life right now. It comes from a song that I heard from Cardi B, and it's Cardi B featuring Chance the Rapper. Listen to that song, I caught a feeling, and right then and there it's like, that's what I'm going to name the book, because it's called live your best life.
That's right.
So it's so from that's how I came up with the title.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, it's relevant. You know, like unless you really an old head, you won't know.
And them old heads live their best life too.
Right. But I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Sure.
Right.
Oh,
because so many older, more seasoned are on social media platforms, or they have children or grandchildren that are exposing them to social media platforms. They're able to understand a lot of these things that you're saying as far as the why, the why of your book title. And and I like your first chapter is just like you went into the start of this book like,
all right, gloves off.
Right. Boom.
Face
Face yourself, because everything from there it's you know what I'm saying? It starts with self.
Absolutely.
Before you begin to want to dissect other people or the situation, you gotta look at yourself, and that's where we talk a lot about accountability.
Absolutely.
Your due diligence, your owning your role, owning your responsibility, your part, etc. So that is freaking amazing. Where can they find this book?
All right, so right now at this moment you can go on Amazon, look up Level Up, How to Start Living Your Best Life Now. Also on this post, when we're done, I'm gonna post a link on the comments.
Absolutely.
So you can go check it out.
Just go directly
So
to the
collect the link. So
cool.
You could, if you're for those that's on IG, you can follow me, Dr_Love Jones. So it's Dr_Love Jones. Find me there. Once you click on, there's a link that goes straight to the book. So on social media, you can find you find me, you find the link.
Absolutely.
Ta-da!
When you see me, you see the link.
Absolutely.
So your handle again on IG
is Dr. Love Jones.
All right, and Facebook.
My personal page is Javone A. Jones. I have two pages, so there's Javone Dr. Love Jones you can find on Facebook, and then I have my book as a page, so you can follow those two pages and you'll get updated on the book and everything too, because there's more that's coming out of the book, because it just released on Friday.
You gotta do like book club. You gotta do like workshops.
Absolutely.
They can link you up with our Babi.
Absolutely. There's
Babi. Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, don't you do like a little motivational
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So and it's amazing because when I was going through creation period, I fall back on my videos, but one of the things I do is give motivation. I call it success tips. So 60 minutes of me just telling you things that you could do to better yourself, your life, your career, and whatever you want to do in life. Because the ultimate goal, everybody wants to be successful. Yeah. And success is not, there's no rule to it. You can make $50,000 a year and consider that successful. But it's about getting to that point where you're satisfied. And many people don't get to that point.
Okay. All right.
That was good. All right. So again, if you all are looking for him, you can find him on IG at Dr_Love Jones.
Yes.
All right. Facebook, he has 3 pages. His personal page, Javone, and that's JAVONE, 1 N-E, Jones.
Yes.
A Jones. And then he have Dr. Love.
Javone, Dr. Love Jones.
Page.
That's a page.
And then the Level Up book page. All right.
Absolutely.
So there's ways, but don't worry. You'll be able to get access to all of them because they will be posted
on the link.
Down below. When the show is over, we'll make sure they're there. Actually, I'll update the header so that they'll be at the top. It'll be in the comment section, but I'll put it in the top as well. How to, at the very least, I'll have his name, page name tag, So you can just click on it, because we are in an instant gratification society, and so people want to just push no more than 3 times. Studies have shown that they don't want to push more than 3 times. They found it. Man, Shannon, you all right with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what they say about you. No.
We don't say nothing, man. You cool as
Listen,
you don't even know you, but that's it.
Yeah, no, he's good people. He's good people. That's my internet buddy.
That's what's up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so there's that. So, on another note.
Oh, we're going to take the gloves off.
Woo!
Take the gloves off.
All right, so the good thing is the segue into what he was speaking about, just in the first few paragraphs of his book, and talking about leveling up and facing who you are, and this, that, and the third. So tonight, our topic was inspired by, we were looking at another page and just kind of listening and going back and forth and so forth with, should we go with it? But you know what? This Symphony Conversations, and we ain't never scared. All right.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous. No, I'm just playing.
What?
I just playing.
I don't give a.
Nah.
You know what word to put.
So the topic tonight is about playing the victim. Black people playing the victim, being victimized.
Okay.
And
do we get a pass?
Huh?
Do we get a pass?
And should we get a pass?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Right. Should we get a pass for things that has and is occurring?
Who wants to start this off?
You.
Okay. I can do
You
it.
out on love.
I'm out on love. Yes and no. I look at it 2 different ways. So, should we get a pass for our history of oppression? Absolutely. But how far does that pass go? Well, the immediate first thought was yes, because just recently we had my man who was jogging, Ahmaud, right?
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what happened to you. Hope your family, can recover and have peace on that, right?
Right.
But then he was jogging and got gunned down.
Right.
So what does that really say? No, we're not past the things that happened in the past yet, because every time we think we're going to turn the corner,
Right.
there's something pulling us back.
Remind you.
It reminds us that we ain't there yet. And we ain't there
ninja.
yet. Not only that, let's think about Colin Kaepernick a few years back, taking a knee, and how the whole world, right, came up against the man because he exercised his First Amendment right.
Yeah.
Can I jump in?
Yes.
Slide in.
All right, so.
Your turn.
All right, so rest in peace to, what's his name?
Ahmaud.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah.
It's a sad that anytime someone loses their life senselessly, especially when there's a racial motivation behind it, it's a tragedy. But I'm gonna go real different than other people are going to expect. What I want more is justice, not just news.
Right.
Because we get these news, we get fired up, we get emotionally turned, and then we get this big ass letdown. This big letdown.
You can cuss, man. It's okay.
No.
I'm just teasing.
This big letdown when there's no follow up. Now, I didn't come from the grid. I came from the hood. I've seen many cases of things happening and never touched the news. And we know the news pick and choose hot button topics because it's going to emotionally charge us.
Yeah.
And what we do is we get charged up with it and not recognize what we're dealing with. At the end of the day, until justice is being served, I don't want to hear about it.
Okay.
Because all I'm going to do is get charged up about what this is, this emotional, to be let down by the justice system one more time.
Yeah.
Now,
Makes sense.
Now, the second thing I want to touch on is Colin Kaepernick. I had to slightly disagree with you.
Okay.
I think the world stands with Colin Kaepernick. I think there's a few elites that want to stand in his way. But I'm going to say this right now. Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL right now because of one major thing. He's bigger than the NFL.
I could agree.
He's bigger, and I'm going to tell you why he's bigger. There are many people who do not watch the NFL know who he is. And there's many people that watch the NFL know who he is.
I don't no. I feel you. I feel what you're saying, but no, man. No. Man, I mean, he was, at the end of the day, I was reading something earlier. He was really just a pawn in a greater scheme, a greater financial ploy by other financial entities.
I agree.
So, but I'm
agree.
gonna slide past all that and I'm gonna get to what the people say. Okay? So, first person come out, Mr. Williams, no, we should not get a pass. Then he also comes back and he says, let the past be the past, right?
Okay. Dwell in that misery and struggle. We must build toward our future.
Let's start right there. I'm gonna start right there. So now listen, it sounds good, in theory. But when you cross that Mason-Dixon line, it's a difference between coming from somewhere else and coming to the South. It's just a difference. Yeah, we free, but these people are gonna let you know every time where you stand. So it's not like we can get past it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we can get really past it because it's just here. We live in Florida, so here in Florida, some parts of Florida, you know what you're gonna get into.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You have to realize that time is an illusion.
Okay.
So time exists in one space, different rooms. So time exists in this moment, very moment, because you can go and think back to a past in your childhood at this moment. And there's certain instances where you know what was around you, what you was doing, who was there, and you can be in there like it's the present moment, and just like you do with the future. So when we say that past is the past is never the past, because the past is always something that's going on concurrently. Slavery may not be happening in the way it's happened in the past, but slavery still is happening. It may not be just blacks being targeted, but there's a lot of blacks that's missing right now that has not been found. What do you think is happening to them? So slavery is still happening under our noses. So we cannot sit here and say it's the past, because it's our current situation. However, it may not be your reality. And your reality may be different. So it's also to be aware of what's going on, but also know that you can be the very difference. So though I agree, I can never agree let the past be the past, because the past is always repeating itself.
Right.
Yeah. Man, you hit it right on the head, bro.
All right.
And before you tackle this thing like you always do, he brought up something and it instantly made me think of something I watched, right? So this is unconventional, but it's conventional. So, you know what I'm saying? So recently I watched the TV series The Watchmen, right?
Watchmen.
The TV series The Watchmen on HBO.
Okay.
All right. So in that, they had KKK members trying to figure out how to brainwash America. So they were sitting back, right? They were sitting back in the room, blah 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 blah, repeating things, and then they projected it on the movie screen while you're watching the movie, and then all of a sudden, everybody in the movie theater rioted.
But the people that were in the movie theater were African Americans. Excuse me, blacks.
Right, they were African Americans, so they was But see, here's the thing. Where did this
They're
come from?
projecting an agenda.
So I said that to say this. It started one way back in the day, and now they're trying to evolutionize this thing. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So don't get it twisted. It's just coming at you a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Carry on, baby.
No. I mean, everything you're saying is you right on point. So I'm gonna read a few more things of what the people say. Our history informs our fight. It doesn't justify apathy. The letdown is because we are not looking towards the future and how to change things for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that, I agree, but I disagree to some magnitude. And the reason why is because, as we kind of been saying, you all mentioned, it's what I can get beyond if it wasn't a recurring event of some magnitude.
Okay. Speak on it, baby.
We're constantly reminded that we have a place, and it is definitely not to be superior. Okay, it's not to be dominant, and so and back to what you mentioned. As long as we're not seeing justice, there is no peace. As the protest says, no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And it's not to start a riot or provoke anything, but it is to invoke thought, thinking, critical thinking. And the narrative that we ultimately see is that you could be an upstanding citizen in society. You could be teaching your children to do the right things and all this, that, and the third. And herein lies innocent bystanders that, they become victimized. They become a victim of the circumstance. I forget the young man's name where the officer entered into his apartment, the wrong apartment.
Oh, yeah, she's shot.
But, not to be funny, but they made the example of the woman.
Mm-hmm.
The woman cop.
Exactly. She killed the man.
Yes, but how many others?
Right.
Other male cops have killed someone, right? But here it is now. We gave y'all that. It's like we gave y'all this winning. We gave y'all this victory, dangling that around. And that's what the people are really tired of.
Okay.
They're tired of getting, here's your little token, here's your little, consolation prize, because your participation award, it's like you participated. But at the end of the day, bottom line, like we talked about last week with supporting Black-owned businesses, it's a good start to be supporting each other, but the problem is it's always that one or two bad apples in the bunch that will go against the grain. I mean, but that goes all the way back 400 years ago and beyond. That you always had someone, they got names for them, but I won't use them on the show. You got the house.
Oh,
you got the fields.
You got Uncle Tom and Sambo. There you go. I gave you two names.
You got that. We always had those opposites, so it's gonna always they're gonna exist. But then
there you go.
But then and ironically, you said about the Watchmen, because I almost forgot about that, where there's an agenda that's usually pushed.
Right.
And so in this instance, this actually took place during the burning of the Black Wall Street. Okay, the time frame of this particular movie was the origin of the movie.
Isn't Birth of a Nation the name of that?
It's called this particular movie. It was called The Watchmen. But in the movie,
stemming off
right?
Right.
But in the movie, it does talk about an agenda that was being pushed so that it will turn blacks against each other. So the blacks were ultimately the blacks were the ones killing each other in the movie theater because of what was being programmed, and whatever was on there,
it was causing them to do that.
I'm slow.
Just saying. You gotta watch it, but not to be
address
promoting
this
the movie.
comment?
Hold on. What?
Yes.
Let us say what the people say.
All right. So, what the people say?
All right, hit them up.
Where we at?
I'm right under.
Where we at? I mean,
postal
we got some stuff. So first, we need to be legally armed.
Okay.
I'll go.
I agree.
Second, we are looking for a singular solution. There isn't one. I agree about that too.
Yeah.
There's definitely this thing has to be globally, like this pandemic. This has to be a pandemic effect. The letdown is because we're not looking to. We got to that. We have to be diligent in making the necessary actions to change the futures.
Okay.
All right. I'm okay with that, Carl. I agree. The South is very different than the North.
Absolutely.
All right. Can you post a link to the page here? What page? Page as in
the Black Business page.
Okay, we'll get that together. Bullshit. I'm assuming that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Slavery today. Slavery today is in your mind. Living in the past and having a mentality of the past will keep your mind closed, limited, and distracted from your future.
Let's stop right there because I got something to say. I'm gonna let the doctor load it.
So here's the thing. Your statement is loaded, and the problem with that statement, that mentality is this: you don't know who you're talking to when you say that. Slavery today is in your mind. Do you know that the Third Amendment was created after slavery happened? The 13th Amendment, my bad. The 13th Amendment was created after the Emancipation Proclamation, which determined that any person that is go to jail, they loses their right of freedom. So they go back into being slaves. Now, if you understand that, there's a statistic that says that black people gets more time for the same crimes than any other racial epithet. So that's one way that slavery is still alive today, because everybody smokes weed. Somebody is selling weed, but it's always a black person that getting that extra type of time. So that's one thing. There is a lot of missing black, especially women, girls, that's missing. And we know sex trafficking is the #1 illegal organization in the world. That's a form of slavery. So when you say slavery today is just in the mind, that is not fact. That is just your opinion, and it's not backed up by anything but theory. There are people that's out there that's living this. Now, what I do agree with you is this: if it's not happening to you, then to make it into something, it is in your mind. But you cannot disacknowledge the fact of what people are going through and what's happening as a way to make a point, because we got to be careful. Because I know somebody that did too much time for a crime that we all made. Imagine somebody going to jail for 6 years for assault. How many of us got into fights? How many of us put paws on somebody? How many of us beat up somebody? And none of us, we walked away, and somebody did 6 years because of that. So that right there is why I had to kind of stop it and let it be known that this thing is really happening under our nose. However, I do understand where you're going.
Yeah. All right. How do I follow up that? But that was a great. How do I follow up? But I will do my best, because Buddha will do his best. So I was having a conversation a long time ago, right? I was having a conversation. We talking about the same paragraph, right? So I was having a conversation a long time ago with my pops, and I asked him a question like, what was what was the point where we figured that this thing was turning left or right, as far as, freedom, being black, in a negative and positive way. So he said to me this: our downfall as a minority, black minority, is when they integrated schools. They gave us a sense of pride and understanding, but they also took away from us the stuff that made us who we are. Right? So keeping that in mind, understand where the agenda started from. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna give you a little piece of success
Mm-hmm.
to make you think you where you're not, where you are, and then also snatch the rug up under you without even looking. Right? Another thing, we're talking about the subliminal messages. How do we get what's the popular now? How do we know what color is the favorite color to wear? How do we know sundresses need to be worn in the summer, other than it's cold and it's hot? We got two hot and cold. We got summer and spring, right? How do we know what's sexy and what's not? You know what I'm saying? These are subliminal messages that have been sent out to you in other ways that we picked up on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you were skinny, slender, flat booty, you were okay. And if you were curvy like chocolate Foxy Brown, you were only okay within certain people. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, she's fine, but everybody else, no, she's not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So understand, society today dictates what we think is pretty, beautiful, and what is bad or good. How do you think not all of us, how do we understand that white is pure, black is not?
Right.
Who gave us that idea? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, but it makes a lot of sense. Like even with our viewers, like your input is extremely valuable. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Don't get any one of us wrong. And you made another valid point when you made the comment about the 400 years ago was racially specific versus today is economically specific. And so, to your defense, I should say, the mentality, we are enslaved because of things mentally. We really are. We hold ourselves in bondage and it goes beyond just with, a race thing. It goes, when you are in a relationship and you go into another relationship, but you're harboring and you're holding on to what took place at a point in time, and because it is all psychological and it's it's mental, and that's why when you go into another relationship, you move from one circumstance to the other, but you're moving it along, and you never really give the new person ample opportunity to get to know you, because first of all, you need to face the man in the mirror, okay, and you gotta be raw, you gotta be true, you gotta be authentic with yourself, so that you can move on. And so when you don't do that, you hold yourself in hostage. You're enslaving yourself from past hurt. And it doesn't necessarily have to be 400 years ago slavery, or yesterday slavery, or last month slavery, actual racially. It could be emotionally that you're holding yourself at, you enslaving yourself, you know what I'm saying? Holding yourself as a hostage mentally, because you're not releasing what took place in your life so that you can move forward. And so that's been because black people as a whole, and we're just speaking about blacks, but this is not just a black problem.
Right.
The truth is, every ethnicity have their own circumstances that they have to deal with, because I'm pretty sure in the white community, they have a standard, because I've talked to my white friends, I got a white friend, you know what I mean? I got a black friend, and they'll tell you that, I have to do this because of mom, I have to do this because of granddad, or I have to do this. Like, they have a level of expectation that they have to adhere to because it has been written for them to be a certain way.
Okay.
And so what they would like to be over here playing with their friends and just chilling or whatever,
Okay.
and then they become this fuck up, to say the least. That's the easiest I had to get it. I couldn't find another word. They become that black sheep of their family.
Okay.
That, and then they, all those things. So, and then again, Asians, family, communities, Italians, and all the different ones, there's so much expectations that's placed for them to achieve. There's expectations. African families are way up there on expectations. But I'm just saying that to say it's not just a black thing, but we're just talking exclusively about it because it's, as you mentioned earlier, with the media, it talks about certain things and it triggers emotions, so it fires you up to. But then, well, what we gonna do then?
And here's the thing. Now I want to give a light to this because I went dark with this. I want to give a light. You have to understand that the world is changing. The reason why media is doing what they're doing is because they recognize what's going to happen. In 20 years, whites will no longer going to be the majority.
They're not now.
No, I'm talking about in America.
Okay.
In America, they're not going to be considered majority. That is a shift. So what you see right now is a power struggle where white people's trying to hold on to the power that they have. Right. But as evolution happened, and it's part of America's own doing because they want to label every baby that has an ounce of melanin in them black. So now they're black. So as more, I ain't gonna go that far.
Right.
But that's far.
Well, here's another one, but to add on what you're saying, honestly, about the revolution, it's gonna become, it don't even matter your color.
Yeah.
Like, COVID-19 don't care about your color. Right? It's gonna become to that point that you're gonna be rich or you're gonna be poor. So when the new world order comes in, you're either gonna be rich or you're gonna be poor.
That's what this whole thing is.
There won't be that gray area which 99% of us fall in, that gray area, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Let me say this. Don, I agree with that statement. You cannot forget the past. You can't be limited by the past. I do agree with that 110%. And the reason why I agree with it because the past is our past to reflect and to better ourselves from.
All right, time out. I'm with you, but I'm with. So I'm gonna give you an example of where we at. So I mean, I like everybody. Most of us watch NFL, right? Football. Yeah. So they have a thing called the Rooney Rule, right? The Rooney Rule makes every team who is hiring a coach interview a black coach, black person, black candidate before they decide who is the best candidate. So yet, as it is a great idea, who wants to be the token black person?
And unfortunately, I think it started off good. I'm gonna be honest.
They gonna give you one.
Who really wants to be? So you want to talk about? Is it prevalent?
It's still prevalent.
It's majorly prevalent especially in the
but there's levels to this.
I'm feeling
you can no longer. History makes it where the Emancipation Proclamation makes it. You can't just tie people up and make them slaves. But what we can do is we can tie you economically. We can tie your advantages. We can limit your resources. We can do everything to make it seem like, you know what? When you feel, no one can say you're a free man physically, but mentally they mess with you so much that you became this. And the thing is,
does it make you a victim though?
So to ask that question about victim, there are victim black people out there. and there are people who's just oppressed to the point that they are dealing with PTSS, which is post-traumatic slave syndrome. So this is something that is going on. Now, I do believe that you are a product of your environment until you become aware of your environment. Then you're a product of your choices.
Absolutely.
So there are people who are a product of their choices. They are victims. They take on the victims because they haven't made the great choices and they blame it on their circumstances, but they knew what their circumstances was and they chose to do the same thing that put them in that same situation.
There are some disadvantages.
And that's what I'm going to.
Right.
Now, there are people who are truly disenfranchised and truly different, and they are suffering because of these stuff. And trust me, and salute to you, Don Williams, because you're bringing up some great points from an opposite standpoint.
Absolutely.
That we have to have this discussion, and I truly appreciate it because because you're not, to me, I don't think you're wrong. And let me say this. I think you're making some solid points because these are the things these are the tough talks that we got to have within ourselves.
Right.
That right now, we are free. We are free physically. Now, the laws don't favor us that much. But again, but I'm going to say this. If you know that it's going to be harder on you because of who you are than the next person, then you got to make yourself better than the next person.
Hold on. I'm with you. I'm so with you. I'm there with you. But now I'm going to ask this question. You say we are free, but this pandemic is showing me a little something different. All right? Now all of a sudden, they can take away everything that we hold dear to us and sit us here trying to figure out how we're going to live in this new time.
All right.
It is taking you back to, it's going to take you to a point where you're going to go back to the basics. That's what's going to happen at this point. That's what should have been happening at this point. So all the price reductions and all these different things and all of that, everything that's happened over the last 2 months here in your areas, wherever you are, that is exactly this is now what we're going to call foundation. This is what your parents have been training you for, okay? It was you, like you said, when you realize you can make a choice, you know this is the environment you're from, but then at some point you got to start making a choice.
Okay.
Right? So, but then there are those circumstances, don't get me wrong, I know all about them, not personally, but I've seen it, but then I can say I do know about it, I guess, personally. But nevertheless, you have to get to a point where, all right, yes, I may not have came up with a silver spoon, but I wasn't in that bad of a situation. So if you come up in a circumstance where this is your situation, products of the environment, and now at some point, you gotta want to want better. And I guess it's kind of bad to say because I didn't have this issue, I guess, but I know that there was somebody that was out there. But the problem really boils down to your family, the environment that you're in. Because if ain't nobody doing right, no matter how well you try to do, the struggle is going to be harder. You know what I'm saying? But with this whole pandemic and all of that, moving fast forward and, in the now, we cannot, where we like, oh, I want to go get my hair done. I need my nails done. Like, those are things that you really don't need. There's not a need. And so it puts you in that situation where now you playing the victim because we started with, I don't want to go, you can't tell me I can't go outside. I'm going to go outside. Now they're like, well, go outside then. You go outside.
I need to look good, baby.
I understand. You need to look good. So we're feeling feeling like
Lord.
we're a victim because the system told us we can't go outside.
Okay, I'm with you.
Because see, the problem is when they take your options, your choices, you take it away from you. You feel like you can't take that from me, but yes, I can.
Okay.
At any time, I can take it away from you.
All
I
right.
have to. I held on my book for a reason.
Okay,
Mhm.
let's go. Let's slide it in there.
This
Yeah.
book
Then we're
was
gonna
re-
wrap it up,
this,
y'all.
This book was released on May 1st,
Okay.
so that was last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We were still in quarantine. I had to still put this book out. I still had things to do. My point that I wanted to make is this: peace starts within. It don't starts with what you have at your fingers. It starts with what you create with your fingers. Now, if they limit your resources on what you create, you still can create. So when you realize peace is within, you don't need anybody to give you, because they can't give or take away what you have. There are people who are in prison right now that are at peace. They may not ever come out in jail, or they may come out and do some great things when they come out, because they prepared themselves internally to capitalize. Peace is within who we are. And many times we want peace. And what this quarantine has taught me is to recognize that all the things that we think we need, we really don't need. Listen, this is my hair right here. I haven't got it cut in a minute. But guess what?
Why you wearing the hat?
Guess what?
Like I am too. Yeah.
But guess what? I still look like a snack to somebody that's watching. And that's be real.
I mean, when you
Somebody
say,
who's watching.
When you say snack, which snack are you going with?
Listen, I'm talking about that snack that you get at 4 or 5 star restaurants that you just can't see on the menu and get. You gotta be on a whole nother level to get this type of snack.
So
That's what I'm talking about.
So I'm gonna ask this question: are you single?
I'm not single.
Okay, so you can't get you're a snack of one person.
The truth is, technically I'm a whole meal to that.
Oh man,
I'm a whole meal. But the reality is this: all these things does not make you lesser. It makes you realize that you don't need all of that to be great.
Yeah.
You don't need all of that to excel. You don't need all of that to be someone. Okay, your job not hiring? Cool. You have a skill. And I talk about it in this book. You have a skill that people are going to pay money for. And don't think because this thing is slowed down or stopped. People are still making money. Money is still being made. Money is still being circulated. The stock prices might have fell so much, but we're not in a depression. We're not crashing. We're not in a recession. So money is still being made. So we have to recognize is that this thing has just taught us to get back to our essence of who we are. And you need to get back to your essence. If you haven't done so, let's do it now.
All
All right. So our final what the people say, and then we're going to close, okay? And so the maestro is going to be getting ready to get the music right.
Oh, okay.
So, first of all, before I read it, thank you all for tuning in, being very patient with us, showing your love and support as you always do. So, once again, thank you, old sippers. Thank you, new sippers. Thank you all. Upcoming sippers. Make sure you like, follow, and share our page. Javone, Level Up, Dr. Love, all of the above. The link is going to be posted. It's already posted. So if you're looking to get more information about it and you would like to like his pages and follow him to see any upcoming books or book clubs or any activity that he may have, you'll be more than able to look that information up, right? So the last what the people say, there are plenty of rich black folks who are not moving us forward as a whole. I agree. Example: Jay-Z, Drake, Kanye, Dr. Dre, Oprah, Bob Johnson, MJ, Tiger Woods, etc. We could really take control of our own destiny.
All right.
I'm going to end on that one.
So, I'm going to say this. We can name drop all we want. But as in everything that we in life, it starts at the base level. So we can't worry about what the next man doing per se, but just like the president, he can only affect so much. But our mayor, our governor, everything personally within our own sector is really what's important to us.
Right.
You feel me? So when that being said is, we can't look to Tiger Woods, Dr. Dre and them to change what's going on right in front of us when we're right here. We need to look to the guys left and right who can change what's going on in front of us in order to make a difference with us, and then we can share our knowledge and how we got to this point with the next person.
Yeah, but I would love to see these big ticket holders on those coins dropping it instead of going to these different third world countries so they can get these tax write-offs and other things like that. No, not all. I ain't saying don't do it, but I need to see it dropping like it's hot right here within our individual community so that we can have the grocery stores and those things.
But let me say this. I agree with exactly what you said. Mm-hmm. It'd be great that they have it. But one thing I recognize is that, again, temper expectations.
Oh, that's what you started with.
When we temper our expectation, we no longer hold them responsible, meaning that they decide to do that. That's and clap it up. But if they don't do it, we're not expecting it. We need to stop expecting so much from people because, especially if we're not in the position that they are. Because we don't know what the oppositions they face. We don't know what they're dealing with and stuff like that.
More money, more problem.
One thing I do is this. Everybody like to there's people that criticize Obama because of what he didn't do and all that. He did a lot.
Yeah.
He became president.
All of them did a lot.
And that's my thing. And I want to end what I say is this. All those names, Bob Johnson, Kanye West, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, everybody that was named in that situation, Oprah, Bob Johnson, Tiger Woods, all those people that was named, they still black and they still achieve a level of greatness that nobody could achieve. If they could do it, what made them so different than you? Because the only thing that they did was become experts in their field. What's stopping you from being an expert in your field?
Okay.
Boom, boom.
Boom. Thank you all. You all were wonderful. Cue the music, maestro. Same time next week, same energy. Same time, same energy. Same time, same energy.
It's real, man. I'm glad y'all came through. Appreciate everybody who commented. Let's keep that momentum. Level up.